Boker Tov, we are doing the Bekiim Bahalacha Bezrat Hashem, day 6. So we are in Halacha Yud Daled. לא ישתמש בדיו הנעשה בבישול החפצים עם spirit. Kosher ink must not be made out of gallnut liquid boiled together with alcohol. כי אחר ימים מועטים שיקפוץ הדיו מן הקלף, because afterwards it appears fine at first, but afterwards it becomes flaky and it takes off from it comes off of the parchment. ויהיה פירודים באותיות וייפסל הכתב, and then there's going to be separations in the letters, and it's going to make the whole thing פסול. ומי שעושה זאת גורם שיהיה מחטיא את הרבים אשר אין קץ לעונשו. And if a person does so, he's causing the public to sin, and then there's no end to his punishment, השם ישמור. ועתיד ליתן את הדין, and he will end up paying for this. 8. These are the words of the Kor Yaakov. Although in the previous footnote the process of making ink includes a stage of boiling gallnut liquid with alcohol, this refers to the addition of just a bit of alcohol. This halacha refers to those that add a considerable amount of alcohol. It is also possible that the problems arise only if the alcohol is added before it is boiled, but not afterwards. Okay, halacha tedvav. Lo yare b'dio shum davar tameh haba min achai. Person should not mix into the ink anything tameh that comes from a live animal. Ela yaseh akol min hamutar beficha. You should make everything from what is permitted to come into his mouth. V'av dio hanasa mistam yenam, and even ink that is made from the wine of non-Jews. Yesh lachmer shelo yishtamesh bo. He should be strict and not use such ink. The response to Deval Shemuel argued that it is permissible to use ink made with a non-Jew's wine, even though it is a non-kosher ingredient. He reasoned that before the wine is added to the ink, it already has been rendered unfit for human consumption, and therefore no longer has the status of non-kosher substance. Furthermore, the wine does not become non-kosher because of what it is, but only because of who made it. It should be comparable to using the skin of a cow that was not slaughtered kosher for parchment, which is permissible since cows have the potential of being kosher. In the same way, the grapes were kosher until a non-Jew used them to make his wine. This ruling is cited in the Be'er, and on that basis, the Mishnah Berurah ruled that this ink is kosher. The truth is, however, that the ultimate conclusion of the Dvar Shmuel is that one must avoid using ingredients such as a non-Jew's wine for writing the holy words of the Torah on sacred scrolls. The Kol Yaakov likewise ruled stringently in this matter. Halacha Tet Zayin. The preparation of the ink does not need to be done lishma for the sake of the ink. It adds on to the beauty of the mitzvah if a person does so. 10. The response of Shevet Levi ruled that although it is not absolutely necessary, it is preferable to use only ink that was made specifically for the sake of writing Torah scrolls. He did not explain his reason for this stringency, however. The Chuvot Ve'anagot suggested that if the ink was sanctified from the moment it is created, the words it forms will be even more sanctified than they would be otherwise. Furthermore, the Mikdash Me'at pointed out that according to the Rabbeinu Zerachi HaLevi, the author of Hama'o, the ink must be made for the sake of using it to write sacred Torah scrolls. See the comment of the Mishnah Sofel. At any rate, this is only a stringency. It should be pointed out that the Mishkenot Yaakov, cited in Biur Halacha, asserted that once ink has been made for the sake of writing Torah scrolls, the ink already has the status of a sacred item and should not be used to write mundane materials. Yud Zayin. Katav bishar minei tzva'im shepasul. If a person wrote in any other colors that are pasul, hu af im mechafeu achar kach b'dio shachor. It's going to still be pasul even if he covers it over it afterwards with black ink. V'chen im katav b'dio shachor. If he wrote with black ink, v'shuv chipau be'eze min tzeva, and then he put over it a different color, pasul be'ze le'aktav. He made it now pasul. Okay. 11. This is the ruling of the Mishnah Berurah. The response of Lehorot Natan explained that when someone writes over black letters with colored ink, it is as if the scribe is erasing the black letters together. Even if someone would scrape off the colored ink, the black letters underneath are no longer kosher once they have been erased. black ink over colored ink. The response of Shevet Levi noted that sometimes there is not enough ink in the quill and the letter written with it appears brown. If enough ink has been in the quill, the letter would be unmistakably black. In this case, it is permissible to write over the brown letter so that it would appear black as it should. This is because the scribe used proper ink. And the reason it does not appear black is only because he wrote it with insufficient amount of ink. This can be compared to the ruling of the response of Khatam Sofer is cited in Halacha 12, asserting that if the Tefilin scrolls were written with black ink, but after many years the letters have faded and appear brownish red, the scrolls are still kosher, and the scribe may write over the letters with black ink to renew their proper color. These cases are not equal to that of writing with black ink over letters written in another color. Clear fixatives. The Responsa Hartzevi ruled that it is permissible to coat the written parchments with a clear fixative to prevent the writing from flaking or fading. The transparent fixative is not considered a layer of writing over the letters, but rather an enhancement to the existing letters. See more about this response in Igrot Moshe and a response to Tzitz Eliezer, who added that the fixative must be in inedible substance. Yudchet. Katav b'dio shachol, if he wrote with black ink, v'zarak afrot zahav al otiyot, and he put gold flakes on top of the letters, ma'avir zahav yisher al ktav ha'tachton v'kasher. If he removes the gold and the letters beneath remain, it's going to be kasher. Okay, 12. The Mishnah Berurah and the Kol Yaakov explained that although the scroll is not kosher as long as the gold dust covers the letters, its kosher status is restored when the gold dust is scraped away. This is not considered an act of writing the letters anew, which would be subject to the limitation of the letters being written out of order. The person is simply removing a barrier preventing us from reading the black letters existing under the gold dust. Aval im zarak את האות על האות מאותיות שם השם, but if he put the gold flakes on top of the letters of the name of Hashem, אין לו תקנה, he can no longer fix it. מפני שאסור להעביר הזהב, because you can no longer remove the gold from such a thing. משום דהווה כמוחק את השם, because it's as if he is removing the name of Hashem, חס ושלום, he's erasing the name of Hashem. ואם יעביר הזהב מעל האותיות שם השם, and if he removes the gold from the names of Hashem, v'nisharu ha'otiyot b'dio shachor, and you still have black ink remaining. Av she'asar avera nirchok shem Hashem kasher, even though he did an avera of removing the name of Hashem, it's going to be kasher. Yutet. לפני הכתיבה הראשונה, before the first writing, יש להיזהר שהקלף עצמו יהיה נקי מכל מיני דיבוק, לכלוך ומיני צבעים. The parchment should be clean from all sorts of dirt, all sorts of things that are stuck. וגם סימני עיפרון יש למחוק, even the pencils a person should erase ולסלק ולא לכתוב על גביהן, and should not run on top of them. וגם שלא יחבר קשקוש של עיפרון בין האותיות, and he should not put any sort of pencil on the letters. Okay, 13. Pencil marks. Sometimes a person inspecting the writing or a written tefillin or mezuzah scroll will mark with a pencil showing where there is a potential problem with its kashrut status. This person might unwittingly create a more severe problem by marking it, since the pencil mark might join two letters or change the letter into another. The Yalkut Yosef cited the Maran Sayan, ruling that if such a thing happens, it is permissible to erase the pencil mark and restore the scroll to its kosher status. This is not considered creating a letter by the act of erasing, which is called chak tochok, and is not kosher. The response of Maran Shion appears that on that page, and upon examination, it becomes apparent that he was not 100% confident of this ruling. The Piskei Teshuvot rule that it is forbidden to add any letters or numbers of any color on the parchment of a Torah scroll, tefillin scroll, or mezuzah scroll, whether or on the front or side or on the back side of the parchment. The Yireyot Shnemo, however, ruled that it is permissible to record the date when a tefillin scroll was written in pencil on the back side of the parchment, and this is the common custom. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen.